Hello. It's been some time since some of us have seen each other in face to face, and it's been some time since we've had a parish council meeting, and many things have happened. So I thought it'd be good to have a little fireside chat about the state of the parish or what things are going on. So I'd like to start with the thing that's probably on many people's mind is the festival. Probably by now you've found out somehow or other that the festival is canceled. And of course that's probably an expected thing since so many other activities in our community, in our state, even in our country have been canceled. So the festival simply had to be canceled for many reasons. This is not something to become terrified about from the point of view of the fundraising that the festival did. We have calculated the amount of money the festival brings in, how much money the festival brought in last year, how much of that money that we have spent, how much of it we will need for this year. And surprisingly enough, we are in a very good financial situation even without this year's festival. So I would explain to you or remind you that when the festival was begun in 1972, the primary purpose of the festival was to raise money for the schools. So it raised a lot of money, of course never enough, and then when the schools closed, the festival money went to the support of the John Paul II school, which we were a part of, to the tune of $100,000 a year. So if a festival made 110, 20, 30, 40,000, that was the largest amount I've seen, $140,000 profit, well, 100,000 of it went right off the top to the school. Recently, for the last few years of the school, we have reduced our support of the school to the amount of $70,000. So last year's festival made about 130,000. Of that 130,000, having paid all of our school support, and by the way, all of our other bills too, we are not behind on any of our bills. We still have $84,000 left in the festival account, so that's pretty healthy. When you think about the upcoming year, there was one more year that we have promised to support the John Paul's II school, and then we'll be done supporting, to the tune of approximately between 30 and 35,000. If you remove that from the festival account of 84,000 with the 3,000 that we still have to pay, you see we're going to have still almost $50,000 left in the festival account after we've made all of our school payments. So even if for some reason we didn't have the festival next year, which we will have a festival next year, as far as I can see, we will have a festival next year. But even if for some reason we could not, we have enough money in the festival account to pay off completely that which it was set up for and to have still some left over. So the important thing about that tells us that the parish all these years has not depended upon this festival for its operation, but rather the generosity on the offertory collection. And I want to comment what a generous offertory we have during the time of this pandemic. For those 77 days when our church was closed and no masses at all were being said, our collections, whether they were mailed in or they were dropped off or they were given online, remained pretty much the same. So we are not hurting from the pandemic. And as we continue now, our collections are pretty standard as they have always been. So anyway, this tells us that over all these years, the parish has been run pretty much on the offertory. So if we were to go forward with festivals in the future, which becomes more and more challenging, but let's say that we did go full force, if you made 140,000 every year on the festival, that would be money that would, in addition to the offertory, that would be money in addition to what we need to run the parish. That'd be a great deal of money. I don't like to talk money all the time, but parish can't run without it. And we do have bills to pay, and we are doing good things here in the parish with the money that you have given us. For those who have not been back to the church since we have reopened, when you do come eventually, I'm sure you will come back eventually, you'll see what kind of work has been done. We were getting a lot of things done just before the pandemic began, and now that it's not over, but now that it's more under control, we continue to work on it. So I think you'll be very impressed by a beautiful new high altar, or at least a renovated one that is quite beautiful. I think you'll be very impressed by that. Other work that's been done on the floors and the walls, and things that are still being done because of the generosity of our parishioners. So from a financial perspective, I am not the slightest bit worried, and neither should you be worried. But the fundraising is a part of parish life. Unfortunately, the offertory it's good, but it does need some supplement. So we will, let's say, in honor of the festival or in remembrance of the festival or something along those lines, the raffle will still take place. We got the license for that. The tickets were printed, so the tickets have been sent out to most of the parishioners by mail. If for some reason you don't get yours, just call the office and we'll make sure that you get them. So the raffle ticket, or the raffle itself, will still go on. If you want more tickets than were sent to you, or if you're just watching this and you're not a member of our parish but you'd like to help us, you merely need to go to the parish website there, and you can actually buy the tickets right there on the website, or you can find ways to be in contact with us, and again, we're happy to mail them out to you. So the drawing will take place on the day that the festival was supposed to take place, Sunday, August 30th. It will take place in the parish hall. I believe we have it scheduled for 6 o'clock in the evening. And the plan is to have the drawing live on Facebook. So on that day, you might come to the hall. They will be selling tickets in the hall. You may come by or return your tickets in the hall all day on Sunday, August 30th. And then you can certainly watch online, and it'll be published in the bulletin, as it always is, who the winners are, so that part will go on as usual. One other aspect of the festival that will go on partially was the basket raffle. Last year we introduced the basket raffle. It was very, very popular. We will not have as many baskets available for raffling at this time, but a great many of them are available. And this raffle is also being conducted by way of the internet and our website. So you can look at the baskets, see a little clip describing the baskets there on the internet, and you also can purchase raffle tickets there. So it's very easy. We are doing this by way of our online giving. So many people during the pandemic began to use online giving to support the parish. It tripled, the use of the online giving tripled during this time. And so it's very easy and it's very safe. Simply go to the website, and there you will find the link for, the link for the portal there for purchasing festival tickets, basket raffle tickets. So if you want to drop off or get tickets on Monday of every week from 10 to 12, you'll be able to do so in the parish hall, because we'll be taking donations for our resale shop at that time. So that's how things look for the festival. We'll plan a festival for 2021. I don't know what it will look like. We will do our very best to put something together. Hopefully they will be better times, and we'll be able to all get together on the property here and enjoy ourselves and celebrate our parish and do some fundraising. But like I say, I don't like to talk about money, but I'm delighted that we're not in a financial trauma right now. Things are really doing quite well. And I am very thankful to all the parishioners for their support, their generous support, and as far as the restoration of the church is concerned, a great many large anonymous donations have been made. So it really does say something about the feeling of parishioners towards their parish. So it would be a terrible thing if we had closed for the pandemic, and when it was over, we didn't have enough money to reopen again, or we'd be financially injured. That is not the situation at all. The parishioners of this church wanted to make sure that it was ready to go when it was able to go again. We're limping along. It's not the greatest situation with Mass right now, but I have every expectation that it will improve. And in fact, we have some plans for improving our availability of Mass and the convenience of it, but still we are definitely controlled by the pandemic. A few other things I would like to just mention at this time. Some people might be kind of thinking about catechism. So nationally speaking, the debate is, will schools open again and how are they going to open? So our plan at this time is to begin catechism again. Our catechism program is very small. It has a total of 50 children. So it will be no problem for us to conduct classes that such small classes where children are socially distanced with no problem. Of course, they will be required to wear their masks. The teachers will wear the masks too. I don't see any reason why we should not begin the program, and I do feel it will be conducted in a very, very safe way. There's no need to worry about that. So right now we are scheduled to begin catechism on September 21st, Monday night, as usual. For those families who have children from last year who did not make their First Holy Communion or did not receive the sacrament of confirmation as was scheduled, so that would be for those from last year and the year before, because June 1st, the plan was to confirm all of those folks. Permission has been granted by the Archbishop for the pastors to conduct the confirmation sacrament, which I will be doing here on Thursday, November 12th at 7 o'clock in the evening. So for those who are to be confirmed, at least those who were in class last year, there were 6 more classes that needed to be conducted before the term ended. The plan is we will begin this year with extra classes or classes specifically for those who are to receive a sacrament to be held on Tuesday night at the same time, 5:30 to 6:45 in the same classrooms, but on Tuesday for 6 sessions, so as to complete the material for confirmation. And the same will be true for those children who are going to receive First Holy Communion. They will have 6 sessions, so that will begin actually on Tuesday, September 22nd. So the confirmation children and the communion children will come on Tuesdays for 6 weeks. When that's over, well, the communion children won't have to be interviewed because I'm their teacher and I know whether or not they're ready, and I'm sure they will be ready to receive their First Holy Communion. First Holy Communions will be scheduled on a Saturday morning, probably towards the end of October or maybe in November. I think probably by the end of October we will be able to have First Holy Communion for children. It'll be a special Mass on a Saturday morning, and then those students to be confirmed will have their interview with me, and then they will be, as I say, confirmed on November 12th. To those students, if you are listening, those who were on the Day of Recollection that I gave you all materials that were very complete unto themselves. Little did I ever think that you would stop going to catechism right after that Day of Recollection, but if you held on to those papers as I told you to, then you have everything you need to look over there. I realize that many people throw things away that they shouldn't throw away, so I have instructed the director of the religious education program to mail to every child that is going to be confirmed, those who are in catechism this year and the year before who are going to be confirmed. All of you have the materials that are necessary for confirmation. Study it. And when we get together, we'll be discussing that, and then you will be you'll be interviewed and approved for confirmation, and that will take place. So, there, as far as the rest of the catechism program, we will begin as usual, and after confirmation, well, those children will be on their own. We won't be able to provide any more classes for them. Obviously, confirmation is not the end of your life as a Catholic, so it's not the end. It's the beginning of kind of on your own. We expect you to be on your own. For the other children, for First Communion, they will then go into the third grade. So catechism the schedules will go out. It will be hopefully, as long as the pandemic doesn't go out of control, it will be a year like it's supposed to be, a normal catechetical year in the parish. Finally, one last thing to touch on, since this is better than the pulpit because I can go on and on and on. But I'm sure by now many of you have heard of this concept of the Families of Parishes. This is something that the Archdiocese is working on. I guess they would say that it's not because of the pandemic, but I can't imagine how the pandemic has not helped it along. The idea that there is a shortage of priests in the Catholic Church, that's unquestionable. With that shortage comes a problem with parishes and how making sure the parishes are run properly and that people have what they need. So the concept of this parish, Families of Parishes, which is new for the priests too, it was kind of sprung on us at the last minute. And now we are supposed to dive into it full force, so that's kind of what we're going to do. Although I'm not sure that anybody actually knows completely what it is. But it would seem to me, and this is how I intend to approach it, and some of my priestly colleagues feel the same way, that this will be groupings of parishes that are close by. So one of the mandates is they must be contiguous. So we're not going to be with some parish in Sterling Heights. So parishes will be asked to work together as much as they possibly can on things that they have in common. So taking into consideration that it must be close to each other, it's obvious that St. Vincent Pallotti, because they're in the same town as us, will certainly be in our family. It would seem probable that Southgate or Lincoln Park might also be, they're close to us. They might be part of this family of parishes we're going to enter into. The diocese has made it very clear that the parishes will stand alone. This is not merging and it's not clustering. So they will stand alone, and that there is no sharing of money, but there is sharing of resources and the sharing of the workload of running a parish. So though no details have been given, it would seem to me that one real possibility would be whatever parishes of the family that are in the family that we are in, that to work together on the program of catechism would be ideal, since I am aware of the fact that the parishes surrounding ours have much larger programs. So if we could enter into their program, it would benefit, I do believe it would benefit our children to be in a bigger, more developed program. Also in adult faith formation and those wishing to become Catholics. Again, our program is miniature. So if all the parishes could work together on this, I think it would have a much more robust and meaningful program for those who are interested in becoming Catholics. Also, I would think that Christian service, again, we just do the best we can, but we don't have much. Parishes around us are doing other things that we are not doing. Perhaps if we could combine forces with them, all of our Catholic downriver area would benefit from that. So those are certainly some areas. But insofar as priests are concerned, well, there's a shortage of priests. So I think I just have to stay here and say masses here. I can't imagine trading off of priests in this family of parishes, because we all have our own work to do. And as I have said, they have made it clear to us that this is not the sharing of money. So the purpose of it is not for a richer parish to bail out a bankrupt parish, or one that's, well, frankly speaking, we are in debt. So it's not for whoever joins, whatever family we join, to pay our debt. Though making a comment on that, I would like to bring to your attention that we are making payments on our debt. When I arrived here, it was $1,260,000. So now this is, well, I have completed now 7 years here, and the debt now is $970,000. So a great deal has been paid. Still $970,000. Personally, I find to be a very uncomfortable number to be in debt to anyone, and we are in debt, of course, to the Archdiocese of Detroit. But as you can see, headway is being made where no headway had been made for quite some time. This is due primarily to the renting of our school building to the city of Wyandotte. All the money that we received from that rental, which was money that we had not planned to have, so we didn't budget it, so it's money that we can afford to give to the Archdiocese to pay on our debt. And as you can see, that we have paid, well, a considerable chunk. I calculated it out at the rate that we are paying. Well, I'll have my 56th birthday here this year, and at the rate that we are paying it off, if I were still working here when I was 72, which is possible, at the rate that we are paying the debt off, when I am 72, the debt would be paid off. So, of course, it could be paid off faster. You never know. Something might happen. But this debt will be paid off. Sooner or later, it will be paid off. And things are going well. So these are some of the things. So don't worry about the family of parishes. I don't think it will be a bad thing. If you haven't figured it out by now, the longer you live, the more changes you have to go through. And as you get older, there are two options. You can be stuck and unwilling to change and unhappy, or you can say, well, I can't do anything about this. I'm going to go with it and make the best of it. And so often we find that changes that we didn't like the sound of it actually work out to something better than we could have ever imagined. So that's what I'm hoping for. There are changes that are coming just because the years are passing. They're also coming because of the pandemic. They're coming from many different reasons. But we are certainly people of faith, and people of faith believe that God never abandons them and will see them through any kind of change or challenges that are presented to us. So having said that, well, I pray for things to get better, and for those of you who I have not seen in church, certainly it's understandable, but I am looking forward to the day that I will see you all again in the beautiful church of the Parish of Our Lady of the Scapular.